Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Normal here, and in this video we're gonna do a comparison of the Realme 6 Pro which was announced in India, and we're going to compare it with one of the popular smartphones from 2019, the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So which one should you buy? That's a confusion a lot of people might be having. So we'll be clearing off all those doubts whether you should buy the Realme 6 Pro or the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So that's what we are going to compare in this video. So first step, let's get started with the comparison. So in fact, we have done a speed test comparison also of these two devices and found that the Realme 6 Pro was a tad faster, especially when retaining apps in the memory and also loading a few games. So Realme 6 Pro was a tad faster, but there are other aspects as well. So in this video we'll cover all those aspects. So first step, let's have a look at the design and build quality. Now if you look at the back panel design, you can see that both the devices are good looking device out there. Both have glass finishing, and you can see that the camera arrangement is the only thing that differentiates between these two devices. Otherwise the back panel looks quite similar, and both have strong build qualities, and fit and finish also looks really nice. Now if you look at the display aspect, so here you can see that both have good displays as well, IPS LCD panels. Now the notch is the separating aspect of these two devices. You can see that the notch on the Redmi Note 8 Pro is a small notch, while it is a punch hole, dual punch hole cameras on the Realme 6 Pro. So that's the Realme 6 Pro design. Now design wise, you can say that both are equally good. We didn't see any major difference in terms of build quality. Both looks great. Now it's a personal choice on whether you want the camera unit to be on the center side or on the left side, which position you like. But overall we feel both are giving good in-hand feel. So design and build quality, it's probably a tie. Now we are not sure whether which all colors these comes in, but both have different variety colors, both giving good overall experience. So design and build quality is almost the same. Now talking about the display, so both the devices have a full HD plus resolution display. We have a 6.53 inches on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So this is the display on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So it's a 6.5 inches display. Now we have a 6.6 inches display on the Realme 6 Pro, again IPS LCD panel. Now if you look at the display quality, we don't really feel any major difference. Yes, the Realme 6 Pro is having a 90 Hz refresh rate. That doesn't make a big difference, although here it definitely has the higher refresh rate, but not much of a difference in terms of the usage. Very similar to the Poco X2 with 120 Hz refresh rate, which did not give much of a value at that price segment. Probably an AMOLED display would have done much more justice, but again the price segment, we can't expect an AMOLED display. So that's the display aspect. Now both the devices have Corning Gorilla Glass support on these devices. So here we feel the Realme 6 Pro has a slight edge over the Redmi Note 8 Pro, probably because it has a 90 Hz refresh rate. Otherwise it's exactly the same display. But at the same time, when it comes to outdoor visibility and the sunlight legibility, this is where the Redmi Note 8 Pro display has a much better performance than the Realme 6 Pro, where the outdoor visibility was not that great. So in terms of display, while the Realme 6 Pro has 90 Hz refresh rate, the Redmi Note 8 Pro display has better brightness and outdoor visibility. Now moving on to the software. So this is one area where these two devices differ a lot. Now if you look at the about phone, you can see that this has a Realme UI 1.0. Along with that, it has Android 10 out of the box. So that's one important aspect. So Realme UI we have seen on a few devices which got upgrades. So Realme UI is a really good UI, and it offers lots of additional modes. You can see app cloner, split screen, then you get gesture support, and a whole lot of options including convenience tool, smart sidebar, all those things are included in the Realme's UI. So it definitely feels good with all the customizations on offer. So that's the Realme's UI. So it has the latest version of Android 10 is included here, and it also comes with an app drawer and all the features. You can see it's pretty good display, software experience overall. Now if you look at the Redmi Note 8 Pro, Note 8 Pro comes with Android 9.0. so that's the software aspect. Now it has the MIUI 11. You can see that Android 9.0. It is slated to get the Android 10 update, but right now it's running on Android 9, and it is having the MIUI 11. So MIUI also offers a plethora of options to choose. So we already see in MIUI 11 on we have updated a video on this channel showing all the features. So it definitely has a lot of features. So software wise, we would say both are equally good. Now we have heard that MIUI, even the Realme UI also will be showing ads, but we haven't seen ads on this device as such. We have been using for quite some time, but still we haven't got any ads as such. But in terms of ad experience, both can be disabled. But if you're not disabled, the Realme UI experience is slightly better because lesser ads. Here you can see ads in almost all Xiaomi's apps, so that can be annoying for a few people, but still you can disable ads on both the devices. Now talking about the performance, so both the devices have a pretty powerful chipset. So we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G on the Realme 6 Pro, while we have the MediaTek Helio G90T processor on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So now both the devices are really powerful chipsets. So Helio G90T is actually suited for gaming, so extreme gaming, that's what the overclock processor is. And we have done a detailed gaming video, found the gaming experience to be really good on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Similar to that, the Realme 6 Pro also has 720G, which is again suited for gaming. So but if you look at the gaming aspects, gaming especially for games like PUBG, you do get additional features with the Helio G90T, which is not available on the 720G. So if you're a person like a heavy PUBG gamer, probably the Redmi Note 8 Pro makes sense, because you do get additional options like smooth and extreme, which is not available on the 720G. So that's where Redmi Note 8 Pro makes sense for gamers. But otherwise, in day-to-day performance, hardly anything matters, because both are equally good and both does an impressive job in terms of performance, no issues whatsoever. In fact, the app performance and app management was slightly better on the Realme 6 Pro. We have done in that speed test, so you can check out that speed test to get an idea about the app performance. Now talking about the fingerprint scanner experience. So we have a fingerprint scanner on integrated with the power button, and face unlock is included. Now here the fingerprint scanner is integrated with the camera unit. So fingerprint scanner performance is almost similar. We didn't see any major issues or differences. Both are equally fast and both does an impressive job in terms of the fingerprint scanner experience. Now next, let's move on to the cameras. So both the devices have 64 megapixel quad cameras. So both have the Samsung's GW1 sensor, and we have an ultra wide angle camera on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Along with that, we have a macro sensor and a depth sensor. While on the Realme 6 Pro, we have a telephoto lens. It is 12 megapixel telephoto lens and 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera included. And if you look at the front camera, so we have a dual selfie camera on the Realme 6 Pro. It is having a 16 plus 8 megapixel camera, while we have a 20 plus 2 megapixel camera on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So that's the camera aspect of camera hardware of these two devices. Now let's have a look at some of the samples we have taken with these two. Now looking at the camera samples, one thing what you notice just straight away is that the Redmi Note 8 Pro images are a bit brighter. They have a bit more details on offer. Now one thing which is noticeable on the Realme 6 Pro is that the saturation issues have been fixed when you compare with other Realme smartphones. So that is one area where Realme has been working on. But if you see the overall details, sharpness levels and the clarity along with the ultra wide angle camera being offered, you can see that the Redmi Note 8 Pro offers much better details and sharpness levels when compared to the Realme 6 Pro. The details are more evident on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Both have quite similar color reproduction, not a major difference though, but the details and sharpness levels is where the Redmi Note 8 Pro has the advantage. Now in terms of portrait photography as well, both do have a pretty good edge detection, not much of a difference, only difference is in the skin tones. Now if you look at the low light samples, this is a mixed performance. In some photos, the Realme 6 Pro did have an advantage with slightly better imaging abilities. But other cases, again, the sharpness levels are better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So in terms of low light performance, you would say it's a mixed performance, but still the Note 8 Pro has the advantage. Now selfie performance, again, quite similar experience. Both have pretty good selfie experience. Even the bokeh effect or the portrait mode also looked quite similar. So you can judge based on this how good the experience is. But overall, we feel the Redmi Note 8 Pro has the advantage in terms of the camera. Now finally, the battery life. So we have a 4300 mAh capacity battery on the Realme 6 Pro, while we have a 4500 mAh capacity on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So there isn't much of a difference in terms of battery performance. Both are equally good. Both can last almost 1.5 days. We have a 18 watt fast charger supported in the box for the Redmi Note 8 Pro. while we have a 30-watt fast charger included. That's a Whoop flash charge included for this device. So that's one of the advantage. We get an 18-watt charger on the Realme, 30-watt fast charger on the Realme 6 Pro, while it's an 18-watt fast charger on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So in terms of charging experience, it's Realme 6 Pro has an advantage. So now summing up, which is a better device to buy here? So the Redmi Note 8 Pro is priced 14,999, while the Realme 6 Pro pricing starts at 16,999. That's almost 2K additional you have to pay for the Realme 6 Pro when compared to the Note 8 Pro. So Note 8 Pro is a power pack device, is one of the really good selling smartphones. So if you want to spend additional 2K, do you really get additional value for the Realme 6 Pro? So Realme 6 Pro has definitely a 90Hz refresh rate. Apart from that, there is also Android 10. Other than that, there isn't much of a difference in terms of the overall experience. In fact, the cameras are better on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. The battery capacity is also slightly better, even though there is 30-watt fast charging on the Realme 6 Pro. So now looking at the pricing, the Redmi Note 8 Pro price at 14,999 is still a good choice than the Realme 6 Pro at 17,000 rupees, because the Redmi Note 8 Pro is a good overall package. Even though the Realme 6 Pro has a 720G, which is a newer processor, the Helio G90T offers almost same experience with lesser cost, and you also get slightly better cameras on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So our choice in this comparison would be to go with the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So that's the detailed comparison of the Redmi Note 8 Pro with the Realme 6 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. This is Numal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.